Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Chasing the Insights. How you all doing? I'm Vince Warnock, and thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day. Oh my goodness, to join me here as I get to talk to not only some of the most talented, but some of the most inspiring people in the industry. You'll know what I mean very shortly because I'm about to introduce you to Rich Kozak. But before I do that, very quickly, I don't want you to miss a single episode of this show. So whatever platform, whatever app, whatever tool, basically, however you're listening to this right now, if you haven't already, reach out and give that subscribe or follow button a push. That way you're notified every time there's a new episode. Anyway, my friends, oh man, you are in for such a treat. I'm here to introduce you to Rich Kozak. He is the voice of impact-driven branding, and after decades languaging and launching brands, he founded Rich Brands specifically to serve people just like you, basically, heart-centered entrepreneurs and professionals. And he helps you to take your individual brand with a foundation of clarity, longevity, and divine purpose. Who doesn't want that? These days, you can find Rich guiding and mentoring individuals in all 7 steps of impact-driven branding and in creating, writing, and publishing books to move their brand forward. And he's here with us now. Rich, oh my goodness, man. After butchering your intro there, it is such an honor having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Vince, it is a delight to be here. And if you're listening to this podcast right now, you're going to hear things here that nobody teaches, you haven't ever heard somewhere, and it's going to sound like straight talk, which is pretty darn rare when it comes to branding and marketing. So pay attention and get something to write these things down with, because there's going to be some golden nuggets.
Oh yeah, you are going to get all the gold in this episode. I tell you that now. Oh man, Rich, I'm so excited to have you here. Mainly 2 reasons. One, we're going to be talking about getting credit for what makes you unique and outstanding. And every single person listening to this is going, that's exactly what I want. But also, I'm excited because you and I get to hang out. And every time we catch up, seriously, it's like iron sharpening iron. Every time I come away from a call with you, I feel more empowered and I feel more I feel excited about doing new things. So that's always a good thing. So, Rich,
I think you bring that out in people, Vince, because I feel that way too. So I am glad we're here.
I genuinely think that you talk about, I mean, a lot of woo-woo people talk about frequencies, but if you even know about the scientific aspect of frequencies, certain frequencies, when they clash, they diminish each other, and certain ones amplify each other. You and I must have amplifying frequencies, man, because anytime we're around, it's awesome. Yeah.
Not that.
Awesome. All right. Anyway, before we dive into the expert topic, Rich, give us your backstory, man. Like, tell us how you got to where you are and why you're so passionate about what you do.
Oh, wow. Well, thanks for asking. And you asked for the backstory, so we'll see if we can't, race through this. So my name is Rich Kozak, and I founded Rich Brands, where we evolve individual brands with deep clarity that is missing, because that's what makes brands come alive, even if you're one person. Longevity, so you can do what you love and really enjoy for more decades, and divine purpose. Most brand people or marketing people don't talk about that. We all have the same opportunity. We're born with gifts. We're made by the same creator, and we have the same opportunity to contribute using the gifts we've been given in the highest way we possibly can to touch others' lives in the time we have. And we all get to do that. So in order to do that, you've got to get credit for what makes you outstanding, for what makes you you, for what makes you unique. If you don't get credit for what makes you unique, people won't see the real you. They can't let the authentic you in because they don't know the authentic you. They don't know it's you that they prefer. They don't know that unless you shape a consistent perception in their mind. And that is the brand. Yeah. It's not what you think it is. It's the perception in your mind. Backstory. Okay, as a teenager, I had no idea what I wanted to do, to become. If somebody said to me, well, you want to go to the Naval Academy and, get a degree in nuclear, engineer. I had kids in my calculus class who knew what they wanted to do, but I had no idea. So, but I had run businesses of my own. I'd created things out of nothing. I envisioned things and I create them. So pretty good student, graduated from high school. I went to Penn State University, which is a large public university. My dad happened to be a professor there. So he said, look, I'm not paying big money for you to go somewhere else if you don't know exactly what you want to do. So just go here. So I got a degree in marketing and international business.
Nice.
And after I got it out of I have to tell this part. I played in a rock band for years.
Oh,
I am
nice.
just so glad. Well, it was the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young kind of period. So
Yeah,
this was nice music. It wasn't head beater rock.
yeah,
It was, contrapuntal guitars, and I played violin and mandolin and viola and we're 4-part harmony. It was beautiful. It was good. And we did a lot of good original stuff, did an album. I am so glad I got that out of my system. I don't know if you know people who are in their 50s or 60s, and they have a garage band, and oh my gosh, I'm just so
I
glad I
still
got
know
that
people
out. So
like
anyway,
you
so
say, yep.
I'm on the road for a year, and then I come back and I graduate and
Yeah,
do some graduate work, and then I went Fortune 50, literally hired to a big company that had 44,000 employees,
yeah,
and they blessed me with a really good manager who had run the international division for 12 years in Switzerland. And I learned, 'cause I wanted to do international, so I learned under his, at his knee.
yeah.
I was the only one in the office other than a woman and a secretary,
Um,
and there was a blessing. And so I learned corporate because I was son of a professor and an English teacher and musicians,
yeah,
and so I didn't have a corporate dad until I had that first, corporate job, and then I learned. It was 7 years I was with that company, but I couldn't see, you heard me say just a moment ago, if I could envision things, I could create them.
yeah,
But I couldn't envision my own success in this big corporate environment. And I kind of felt I wasn't made for it. So we mutually agreed, I would go look at my next opportunity, and they wished me good luck. And
yeah,
I happened to have been volunteering in the local American Marketing Association. And because I was spending so much time and creating the international division in Los Angeles, I got an award. And then he made me president. Now, this is volunteer now, this is not paid.
yeah.
But because of what we did then, I got elected across the United States as a board member on the American Marketing Association International Board of Directors. So I sat on the AMA International Board for 4 years. By that time, the guy who met me during the AMA days, he ran a big agency, business to business, so semiconductors and paint and
Yeah.
construction, B2B, and he encouraged me to come and talk to him. I became his exec vice president, and within a few years, we joined a partnership of agencies worldwide. So I had partners in 21 countries, all deeply experienced business to business agencies. And they had, in the years before we joined them, codified the process of defining and languaging a brand. Now, at their level, when you're dealing with multiple billion-dollar companies or a $300 million software company or
Yeah.
an ophthalmological testing equipment company in Heidelberg, Germany, it's like they want to move their brand from country to country. Well, laws are different, mores are different, business gets done differently. So I sat on global brand teams. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I was addicted. When I turned 50, I was still doing all-nighters.
Oh, my.
Literally, we had a $14 billion client, and I will frame it right here. This is a huge part of the backstory. Imagine this: 3:14 in the morning. I'm in my office, a corner office that looks right up the Malibu coast in Santa Monica. Beautiful palm trees up there, and it was in the middle of the night. But I had to leave in time to get down to my car, get out of the gate, and get home, take a shower, shave, put on a new suit, great tie, get in my car, and drive to get to that $14 billion company, to stand in that boardroom and say, "Gentlemen, my name is Rich Kozak from Young Company, and I'm here to share with you the vision we see of the way you can be perceived by your target audiences, your clients, the companies you really want to do business with, to make sure you succeed at your business strategy."
Yeah.
And I'm shaving, and
Yeah.
I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm thinking, you're in the middle of the night, and you're overweight, you're not getting sleep, you're actually killing yourself. I don't think this is why you're here.
Yeah.
And I made a decision. I changed my prayer, Vince. Dear
Yeah.
Lord, I am going to resign this addictive career to reshape my life. You show me what you want me to do. I'm ready.
That's awesome.
And that shifts things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a huge part of the backstory. Now,
Love that.
eventually people asked me to help them with their individual brands, and
Yep.
I happened to do three in a row out of kindness, and they said they wanted to pay me money. I told them I didn't do it anymore, but they said, you do, you just don't charge for it. And that was kind of weird. But
Yeah.
I said, okay, fine, I'll charge my. And what I realized was helping an individual
Yeah.
who has the desire to make impacts on others, either individuals or on a company or on an industry. And that's what they really envision impact. That's what turns them on.
Yeah.
Those desire for impacts are in their heart. I did not put them there, Vince.
Yeah.
I believe God did. We all get, things baked into us and we're here for a reason. But if we don't ask or we don't pay attention, we might miss it. And
Yeah.
so in that moment, I got this download that it's not even my work, it's God's work.
Yeah.
I just get to do it because of all of this stuff I've done, being in industrial sales and working for a research company and working for an ad agency and having global, reach and having partners all over the world and playing a rock band. I mean, all of this stuff that enables you to be broadly receptive of all this types of language, and because every industry has its own language. And for me, that was a huge turn on. I
Nice.
feel like I've been completely prepared to
Yeah.
do this right now. Praise God.
That
I
is
spend a lot of time. I'm on, like, you and I were talking about how busy we are.
yeah.
If you saw my schedule, it goes back to back on Zoom, client to client to client, and other meetings. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And
Same.
if you're ever, if you're listening to this, I want you there. I want that blessing for you when it doesn't feel like work and it feels like joy. It feels like love. You are right where you get to be. And
Yeah.
we all get that if that's where we ask, what do you want me to be doing? What should I be doing? And think about it that part of that is getting credit for what really makes you outstanding. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I can see why you and I are so aligned. Honestly, our paths are pretty parallel. The only difference here, I had the early stage entrepreneurship as well and worked in corporate. The only thing that was different is I always wanted to be in a rock band. I was a DJ, so that kind of counts, but I always wanted to be in a rock band and never got the opportunity. But I did find myself, funny enough, at 50, sitting in the office. I'm in the Fortune 100, just, sitting there miserable as heck and just going, why, when everything on paper is supposed to be amazing, am I miserable? And again, it was not being aligned with your purpose, not being aligned with what you're called to do. And that became the easiest hard decision ever. I just went to the CEO and said, I'm done. Goodbye.
My time, yeah, exactly. Time to change. Yeah.
I really thought I was having a breakdown, man. She said, do we need a psychologist? I said, no, we're all good. I'm the happiest. Made the
Yeah, clean
decision.
out your desk. Okay. Yeah.
I had no idea
Uh,
what I was going on to do. I just knew it wasn't that. I knew that wasn't mine with me. So this is awesome.
very similar, Vince. It's very, that was very similar. I
Yeah.
knew, I knew I needed to reshape my life, but my wording was, show me what you want me to do. I'm ready. So I was in show me mode.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
expected it would get clear, but in the meantime, like my mother, who was from the southern United States, would say, "Well, Richard, you've always been busy." So when I resigned, I got busy like investing in real estate and doing all this other.
Yeah.
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 So
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, you and I don't think you and I will ever stand still. The difference is now we're doing things that we actually really enjoy moving for. So very different.
the
Um,
irony for me is like I went from branding to wait branding. Okay, but but, but the one of the gifts you get today listening to this
yeah.
is understanding what branding actually is. You've never seen it that way before. It will relieve you, it will give you clarity and allow you to move forward
I
and
love
get credit for what really makes you outstanding. So that's one of the blessings of today's session.
Well, I love this and perfect segue into the topic. As I said, we are talking about getting credit for what makes you unique and outstanding, which, funny enough, is your brand. But the first question I've got for you, Rich, before we kind of get into the getting credit part of this is How does anyone listen to this know what makes them unique and outstanding? If they're sitting there going, "Oh, that's all good for you guys. You've established yourselves. You've tried this and this. You've done different things." But a lot of people feel like they're one of many. So how do they find out what makes them completely unique and outstanding?
Everyone is different, and this is going to sound truistic, but I created a curriculum when I was focused on. I literally worked with Lisa Nichols in her motivating the teen spirit for a while after I left the agency, and I got involved in. I got inspired to help teenagers, entrepreneurs, understand, like, do self development early. Don't wait till they're 50, like I did. Get it at their 14, 15, 16, 17. So
Yeah.
I created this curriculum called the Empowered Youth Day, and one of the components there was, what if you could do anything you wanted for the rest of your life and you knew it would be successful? What would you do? Literally have a bunch of teenagers, 14 to 18, in the room, and they would say things like, they would say immature things like, "Oh, I want to play guitar," or "I want to ride my skateboard." But some would say, "Well, I love soccer, but I can't play soccer forever, so I'm going to be a trainer." Or one girl said, I would like to make a living smiling.
Okay. Yeah.
So, okay, here's the point at that level, a teenager, early. Some life is filled with opportunities, ups and downs. And if you never leave the country, you don't know what's outside the country.
Yeah.
If you never see a giraffe, you don't know what a giraffe is. But when if you never tried water skiing, how would you know you love it?
Yeah.
So seeing things, trying things. At early, like if you have children, you have teenagers, you're in your 20s, when you get a little yearning, write that word down. A yearning, like, ooh, ooh. I
Yeah.
think learn more about it. Learn all you can. Try it. Do it again. You might find
Yeah.
that yearning is a little signal. So along the way, here's the second signal. You do something. Now you might have a job. Okay, so you're on a job, but you have this activity that when you do it, you lose track of time.
Yeah. Yep.
That's one way that God tells us maybe what we should be doing. Okay, it's like, but seriously, it's like, so pay attention to that. Now, if you have been doing something, I'm going to go to the other extreme, because many of my clients who hear me speak and they go, "Oh my God, I know I'm not done. I want to take this higher, but I don't know how to do. I've been doing this for 20. I've been doing this for 30. I'm been a physician for 40 years and solving people's stress problems." They know what they're good at
Yeah.
and what they're not. They might even be known for it
Yeah.
because they've established themselves as being good at it. And there are many, many people like that. They know that they are really, let's use the word competent. Like, if somebody comes, they can help them the same way. They know they can do it, and they do it over and over. They're competent. Here is that part of the missing clarity. That's not necessarily why they're here, why they're made.
Yeah.
They are certainly good at that. Maybe it's part of their path, but it might just be a vehicle. They making their money, they're raising their family. Everyone, when they think about if they could make impacts on people, on other people, or on the world, and they can envision making those impacts, whether they're doing it now or whether they just know they want to do it.
Yeah.
You can envision that. You can literally begin defining an umbrella brand
Wow.
that literally gets credit for your highest level impacts. And you go from what you're known for to what you get to do.
Yeah.
We call it an umbrella brand. And I'm going to show you a couple examples when we talk about how do you get credit for what really makes you outstanding. And you start to create unique language that transfers energy so that how you say what you're good at, or how people say when they introduce you, is different than
Yeah.
anybody else. And now you stand apart. How do you do that? We're going to talk about that, and I'll give you some examples.
I love
But
that.
that umbrella brand is the level most people don't even know it exists.
Yeah. I
They
love
know
that.
they're a really good doctor, or they know they're a really good coach, or they know they're expert at the chemistry of oil.
Mm.
But I have a client that I just got off the phone with her. She's in Houston, and she was a PhD in chemical engineering,
Yeah.
and she left and wrote a book called The Reinvention Mindset. And now she helps people reinvent themselves
Ah,
and move to a different level in
yeah.
their life and get back into a joy. It's like, wow.
This is so powerful, man.
Yeah, right. And so
I need this in
we
my own
all
life as well because,
we
yeah,
we all have that level,
yeah,
but getting credit for what we're good at
yeah, yeah.
is part of the steps. Okay.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, I didn't train in marketing. I fell into marketing and fell into AI, fell into what I'm doing now. I've trained in
Uh,
electronics and computer engineering, which, if you look at it, shouldn't have much to do with marketing and AI, but now it does. Like, as in, like, yeah, I can see the intersection that like being a radio announcer, being a DJ, running a film school, all of these things, every single aspect of those has contributed to who I am now and finding out what my pathway is. So I love that whole purpose of what you talked about there. Well, and perfect segue too, by the way. Let's talk straight away about how do we get credit for this then? Like how do we actually be known for this ourselves?
I'm going to take you, I'll see too. I'm going to take you into the work.
Yeah,
Picture this on Zoom. Let's say there's 10 people,
yeah,
and one of them is speaking, and what she is doing, she is reading the description of a person that her heart told her. She said, "Hey, heart, give me a person." And she didn't ask her head. She asked her heart. "Hey, heart, give me a person that I know I can clearly see impacting when I'm thriving and everything is working, and I really want to impact."
yeah,
Okay, maybe it's that single mom with a special needs child that's concerned what happens to the child if something happens to her. Maybe it's a couple that's about to retire. Maybe it's somebody that's dealt with being abused as a child and they need to get over it so they can set goals and go higher and help other people. Maybe it's somebody who's really expert at something and they help. Whatever. Everybody's different. So give me a heart. So she just read
yeah,
the description. uh, oh, she sees this, she's afraid of this, she wonders of this, she worries about this, she
yeah,
hopes this, she wants this. She just read this because she wrote it because that's how she sees this lady who
yeah,
makes it. How this lady, what makes this lady, this lady who she clearly sees impacting, and everybody else who doesn't even know this person who's talking
yeah,
grabs a pen and you can do this yourself, but we do it in groups. We do small groups. We do it one on one. It's and they answer the question. Oh, so she explains the lady, and then she says, "Here's the first impact that I see making on this woman
mhm,
when my brand is thriving." And it might be just she reframes how she sees something about herself.
yeah,
Maybe she takes on a new mindset or a new skill set, and then maybe she practices skills and she gets new results. We talk about every level of impact up to the highest level. This woman could literally say, through my work, this person could literally become a world changer,
yeah,
helping others get over what she was having trouble getting over, whatever. So we read it and then we read one impact at a time, and everybody grabs a pen and answers the question. In order to make that impact,
yeah,
what characteristic must the brand become and get credit for? And they write it down. Oh, you must be patient. You must be listening empathetically. You must be projecting the result. You must be driven by conscience. What they write these things down, and the ways, a couple of bullets. How in what ways must you be patient? They write this stuff. They don't even know the lady.
hmm,
So doing that literally bakes clarity, the clarity of knowing the impacts, all the levels of it on this particular type of person that you're going to make. If you do that a couple times, person one, person two, person three, or business, whatever they are, right?
yeah,
You, the next question is, okay, to make these impacts on these individuals,
yeah,
what category of expertise? This is the answer to the question that's on the floor.
yeah,
What you get credit for? What category of expertise? And categories, because there's more than one. What categories of expertise must you get credit for to make these impacts on this person? Well, we brainstorm. People will say like, "Oh, women's health, renewing your strength, transforming self-image." It's like people just say like, what categories of expertise, and there has to be a category. So it'd be like a category would be like, "Oh, you must be expert at." Open heart surgery using micro tools. It's a category of expertise.
Gotcha.
Okay, shifting a person's understanding of the path they get to, whatever it is. So write those things down there all over the paper, and then we kind of group them. Well, these have. I'm going to give you some examples. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. So, I mentioned the lady who wrote the book, The Reinvention Mindset.
Yeah.
The first group of like what she needs to be expert at, because she wrote a book, is reinvention.
Yeah.
But that's not a category. You have to, reinventing your career. You have to make it a category. So we had all these things about reinvention. Then we had freeing women executives. A lot of things like giving them a new path, helping them renew how they feel about themselves, freeing them up from being so focused on helping other people build their companies and getting them to help themselves build their lives. All that kind of column.
Yeah.
And then the third was literally celebrating that they found a purpose. Here's what they turned into. Column number 1. And we test it by saying this: the woman speaking at the conference next year is an expert at. Okay, so that's how do I get credit for what makes me outstanding?
Yeah.
Here's the answer to the question. Her column 1 category of expertise is the woman speaking at the Powerful Life conference next year is an expert at the reinvention mindset, transforming life's experiences into endless possibilities.
Yeah.
Well, who else says that?
Yeah.
Nobody else says it like she does. That's her category of expertise. Somebody's going to introduce her like that, and people are going to hear that. One of the things that makes a brand come alive and will make you come alive to other people, and they'll say, "Wow, they just seem so unique.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really special. Wow, I never heard anybody say it that way before," is what's called an intangible brand promise.
Nice.
I'm going
Yeah.
to give you a really simple one. The very first client, third client, when I said I'm going to do individuals, a coach says to me, "I'm going to hand you a client. I think you're the best person." This lady's trained by I'm not going to mention names, but everybody really knows. He's written like lots of books.
Yeah.
And she was trained as a yogi.
Yeah.
And she was going to open a really high-end yoga parlor. Well, her husband was in food, so they're going to do Ayurvedic food. They're going to do all these things. But it was one-on-one yoga. One-on-one, not one person in the cattle call, a whole room full of people. One-on-one, the way yoga was created. And so one of her categories of expertise was, and check this out, the woman speaking at the New Body Conference next year
Yeah.
is an expert at 3 words, ready?
Mhm.
Body intelligent yoga.
Ooh.
Body intelligent yoga?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've been doing yoga in my $1 million house for years, and I never, I want that.
Great, doesn't it? You immediately go, I want to know what that is,
What's in there? Yeah. Oh, so that language that transfers energy, that not only gets you credit for being unique, but it has an intangible brand promise baked into it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Here's another one. A guy who comes to me and he says, "Look, I really want to help people. I lost my wife to lupus. Oh my God. It was horrible. But then I started realizing that we really need to take control of our own health. So I really started taking control of my own health. And what I learned was there's all these alternative things. And there were like medicinal mushrooms that heal people from cancer. Like I went and I took Daniel Amen's brain training so I could help people sharpen their brain as they get old. So instead of their brain dying, their brain gets sharp. It's like, and you listen to all this stuff and you realize if he tries to explain, and there's other things too, the way he eats, the way he lives, his health styles, it would confuse you.
Yeah.
So how in the world do you say it? How do you make an umbrella brand out of that? How do you say what he's good at? So this one, it's a quintessential example.
Yeah.
We made the columns, and the first has to do with a surprise. Everybody thinks as you get older, your brain gets weaker. Oh, you start to lose your car key. You've heard the drill. You know, everybody understands that. That's the way they think. And the second one is they don't think about the mind and the body kind of working together unless they study like gut health and stuff. So there's that mind body thing. And then a new level of health that when you get these things right, that's where you live. So here are the three for this gentleman. Ready? The man speaking at the take control of your health conference next week
Yeah.
is an expert at mindful longevity,
Oh,
experiencing a younger brain
yeah.
as we age.
See, what I love about this, Rich, is
Intangible brand promise. Like, oh
yeah,
my God,
but you've
is that even
reversed it to do
possible?
the outcome. That's the beauty of this, is you've gone, what is the outcome we want to see here? So what is that brand, what is that brand message that's really going to resonate with that and get you known for it? That's a really powerful way of doing it. Yeah.
Column two,
Yeah.
the man speaking at the, take it to another level conference is an expert at, in quotes, mind and body synchronicity.
Ooh.
What is that? Because
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
He knows what it is. Okay. And there's a tagline that's with it: mind and body synchronicity, smart aging through clean decisions.
Oh, I like that
You
one.
feel the hook go in the fish. It's like, I
Yeah.
want, what kind of
All
clean decisions? Can I make those? Yeah, I'm in, right? And the third column is adaptive rejuvenative health.
right. Ooh.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Can I get that?
Yeah. Now these are solid.
And
Yeah.
his overall brand, the umbrella brand, we named it Mindful Longevity.
Yeah.
And it deals with rejuvenating and re-energizing and renewing. Okay, mindful longevity. And what he does
Yeah.
is holistic health mentoring that empowers lives.
See,
That is
that's what I'm talking about.
that's
Yeah.
an umbrella brand for
Yeah.
him. Did you get a chill down your spine? I get a chill down my spine, and I was involved in doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so
And
cool.
so there are four things
Yeah.
that make a brand come alive, and this one of it includes getting credit. The result is you get credit for what makes you outstanding. But
Yes.
there are four things. And the one that you just heard examples of is unique language
Hmm.
that transfers energy. It has to be unique. In other words, you could say body intelligent yoga, there's no unique words there, but
Yeah.
those three words were never used together. And you're like, wow, I never heard of that. But it's just three words, and we all know what each one of them means.
Yeah.
Okay. Unique language that transfers energy. So you can't just have unique language. Well, we call it the I'm the fusser wrecker. It's like no energy. It's like it sucks the energy out. It sucks the energy out of the room. Like I don't know. You're kind of foolish. Well, or it's kind of like looking at a brand that they think they have to have a superhero costume. Well, I'm the jetpack of the. You're like, no, you're not. Because
Yeah.
people smell authenticity. They smell
They do. They
disingenuousness.
do.
Okay. Okay. So unique language transfer. If you said to me, "Oh, Rich, I understand you're a branding consultant. So what do you do? What do you do?" A lot of people ask me that. I've learned to say, "Well, we do a lot of things at Rich Brands,
Yeah.
but people say we put rocket fuel in their branding gas tank."
Nice.
I use that example as an exaggerative example.
Yeah.
Words transfer energy. If I said, well, we manage the 32 iterative steps of the branding continuum, you would be asleep. You might even say, oh, you know what? I am so sorry. I left my cigarette burning across the, but I don't even smoke and I'm out of here because you're boring me. Okay. Words have power
Yeah, they
and they
do.
have energy or they don't. And
Yeah.
so unique language that transfers energy, that says what you do in a way that no one else does,
Yeah.
sets you apart. You get credit for what makes you outstanding. Praise God, because it's probably closer to your purpose. And
Yeah.
if you define your umbrella brand at the highest level impacts that you can envision making,
Yeah.
are you kind of getting this? Like because we have these great minds as human beings, and if you close your eyes and imagine thriving, that everything your brand is doing that you really want to do, you don't envision things you have to do. You know, it's only those things that bring you joy. And you envision thriving. What are you doing? What if you're speaking? Great. If you're writing, that's wonderful. If you're coaching, what you're talking, whatever you envision do, that's just in your mind. We
Yeah.
all have the ability to do that. When you do that at the highest level, and you write down the highest level impacts you can clearly see making in your mind's eye on people that you really want to impact,
Yeah.
where do you think that sends you?
Oh,
It gets you way closer to why you're here. It's like, so ask yourself, close your eyes and ask yourself, wow, if I could just do something that really brings me joy, it's like, what impacts can I clearly see making on others? And you get excited about it, you're on your way. You're partway there. It's wonderful. And
this
we
is
all get the
fantastic.
chance to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to give you credit for what makes you unique, and that is distilling this kind of a principle and concept to us, because it's honestly, I know a lot of people are very impacted right now. But here's the big problem talking to you, which I'm also going to give you credit for, Rich, is whenever you and I talk, we always go over time. So we are at the
Oh,
point
I'm so sorry.
where I need to ask you the same question I ask everyone. So, Rich, what are your three practical tips you advise every entrepreneur? And by the way, I'm very cognizant of the fact you just gave us like 100 practical tips. What are your three practical tips that you advise every entrepreneur to do right now?
No, these three are very different and they're very, very important. And they come from, look, I'm 72, so they come from a lot of years of living, including 49 years defining and languaging brands.
Yeah.
But it's not about brands. It's not about disingenuousness. It's not about putting on a costume. It's not about putting on a front or a facade. It's not. It's about coming from your heart.
Nice.
So the first one is speak from your heart.
Mm,
Listen to your heart. When you're in business or whatever you do, when you speak from your heart, you're you're doing exactly what you get to do, and people will get to know you, and
mm,
they'll feel your authenticity, and they'll feel how you have caring conversations and relationships, and you converse with people, you listen to them and they listen to you, and you speak to them from your heart. You don't speak down, you don't teach, you don't pontificate, you just speak from your heart. That's number one.
mm.
Number two, your people ask me, what's the difference between branding and marketing? Marketing is executional.
Yeah.
Branding is strategic. Branding comes first. When you define it, you don't even open your brand's mouth until the brand development work is done.
Great.
When you're ready to open your mouth, that's when the marketing begins.
Yeah.
So write this down, and I'm going to put it in your language. My marketing, when it's at its best, I want you to write this down. My marketing, when it's at its best, is the execution of an excellent branding strategy.
Love that.
Otherwise, marketing goes here and there. You can hire third parties. They'll use language that's not congruent with you. Now you're confusing, you create misinformation, and now it's like a mess. Just
Yeah.
don't do that. Yeah, it's like the comedian. I have three words that'll help you. Just stop it. Okay. So, and the third thing is, and I'm going to point my finger at you if you're watching this on video. Well, it's bent, so it's pointing back at me. Now is the time, and I don't care how old you are, now is the time to define the brand you will become.
Love this. Yeah.
You got to do that. And the brand
Yeah.
is not what you think it is, it's the perception you create in the mind of your most important people whose lives you want to impact. It's their perception. That's the brand.
Yeah.
Now is the time to define the brand you will become and consistently shape that perception. No consistency,
Yep.
no consistency, you'll break trust. And now you don't trust, you can't win. If you want to take your brand to a higher level and you're inconsistent, you will never get there.
Yeah.
People
Rich,
won't know that you're
yeah.
trustable to take them to a higher level.
Yeah. This is so powerful. I'm so happy I got you on the show. Now, I'm going to leave links to everywhere you can connect with Rich in the show notes for the episode, so you all know what to do. Go to chasingtheinsights.com, look for Rich's smiling face, and you're going to see a bunch of hyperlinks there. You're going to see links to where you can connect with him on social. You're going to see links to his website. You're also going to see links to a free brand clarity session with Rich. So make sure you take him up on that offer. Honestly, as you've heard here, the guy knows his stuff, that's for sure.
And I won't be talking at you. I will be listening to you.
Exactly.
And then I will reflect
Yeah.
possibilities for you because I do this all the time. And I might hear things that you don't even know you're saying. So take advantage. People say, I've been doing this almost 50 years. I should be on a yacht or on a beach. I'm on Zoom. Okay. So like, take advantage of it and talk to me. Seriously.
Well, Rich, this has been amazing, man. Seriously, I knew getting you on the show was going to be a lot of fun, but also knew it was going to add value, and it definitely exceeded all of that. So thank you for being here. It's been an absolute privilege having you on the show.
I look forward to doing it again. That when the book comes out, we're going to be talking about that.
Sure.
Thanks, Vince. Wow, there's a lot of things we get to do together, and
I
I'll
know.
be talking to you really soon. Thanks, brother.
No worries, man. So there you go, everyone. Like I said, go to the show notes, click on all those links. You're not going to regret it. As you heard here, Rich, he's not only super experienced, not only super intelligent and knows his stuff, he's just a decent human being. So get more rich in your life. Enrich your life. There you go. Just made that up. So,
I like it.
like, geez.
I'll add two words because the book I read every morning says we're here for two reasons and everything else is man-made. Share love and praise God. So I'll just say praise God. Get one in there.
Gotcha.
We get to do what we get to do. We didn't make ourselves. We didn't create ourselves. So,
No.
don't think we're in control. Let's go. Let's find our highest levels and run for it.
Love it, love it. So there you go, everyone. Go and click on all those links, like I said. Plus, also, if you haven't already, reach out and give that subscribe or follow button a push. That way you're notified every time there's a new episode. Anyway, my friends, that is the formal part of the show out of the way. And I know you're all dying to go and connect with Rich everywhere, which you totally need to do. But before you do that, very quickly, I want to take a moment and I want you to pay attention. I want you to be present, basically. So take a deep breath. I want you to pause and I want you to listen. Because being an entrepreneur is kind of crazy if you think about it. Like, and first of all, it's crazy awesome if you think about what you're doing. You're literally creating something from nothing. You are turning an idea, like an abstract thought, an idea, a seed, a concept. You're turning that into reality. You're birthing it into this world. That is amazing, right? That is so awesome. But it's also when you think about what we sign up for as entrepreneurs, we sign up for a crazy roller coaster ride that can sometimes be quite emotional, can sometimes force you to deal with a lot of trauma that you've had in your childhood. And I say sometimes, I mean all time, but also can be incredibly lonely. And I want you to know something, my friend. You are not alone, right? As an entrepreneur, you take a lot of weight on your shoulders, right? You shield your staff and your team from a lot of the pressure that you're feeling around your business. You often mistakenly shield your family from that as well and think you have to do all of this alone. But you're not alone. There are genuinely people in this world that want you to succeed. You've got mentors, you've got coaches. And if you don't have coaches and mentors, seriously, get yourself one. It will change your life. It'll change your business for sure. Go out and find one. If you don't know where to go, talk to Rich, talk to me. If we can't help you, we'll point you in the right direction. I tell you that now. But get someone that can speak into your life and someone that can be there alongside you with their pom-poms and their little cheerleader skirt and everything. And trust me, if you've ever seen Rich and me in a cheerleader skirt, it's disturbing. But you will have them beside you cheering you on so you know that you're not alone. You also
I
have,
taught teenagers a mentor speech. It goes,
yeah,
my name is Rich and Mr. Jones. I really enjoy what you do and I want to do what you do. Will you mentor me?
yeah,
Mr. Jones, Mrs. Smith, I love what you do. I want to do what you do.
will
Will
you?
you mentor me? That's the speech. Worst case, they say no, and you go next and go find somebody else. Okay, so don't think you're not,
Yeah.
you can't do it. You're not worthy. Just ask.
But just reach out to them. Exactly. Reach out to them because yeah, you want them in your corner. The other thing is, like I said, peers. There are a whole pile of people out there in your industry or parallel industries or parallel verticals that are going through the same things that you're going through, the same challenges, the same problems, the same everything. Reach out and be there for other people and they'll be there for you. Build your own little network of people that can be in your corner and you'll know that you are not alone. So, on behalf of both Rich and myself, we want to wish you all of the health, all of the wealth, all the happiness, the success, and the love that you so rightfully, and I do mean rightfully, deserve. Now, this is Chasing the Insights. I'm Vince Warnock. You, my friend, are an absolute freaking legend, and I'll see you in the next episode.